There are places in this world where the unexplained will suddenly become akin to comfort, allowing the bizarre to bleed into the atmosphere. Within the city of Jefferson, Texas, resides such a location, in the form of a hotel that shares the city's name, in which the things that go bump in the night have begun to open doors, roam the halls, and reveal themselves. The question is why? Why is this happening? Having never been there, I can't answer that question. But on October 1st and 2nd, 50 of you will have the chance to join me for a weekend-long paranormal investigation at AGH Presents The Ghosts of the Jefferson Hotel. My friends, I am incredibly excited about this event. To those of you that have already purchased your tickets, thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you face to face in Jefferson, Texas. And for those of you who wish to join us at AGH Presents The Ghost of the Jefferson Hotel, VIP tickets are sold out and there's only 15 gold tickets left. But you can get your gold tickets while they last by clicking the ticket link, which I've posted below in the description box. Having said that, let's jump right into the In a Crowded Room podcast.
We are learning more about another possible jetpack sighting in the skies near LAX.
Skywas 3626, use caution. The jet man is back. Let me know if you see him.
A pilot reported seeing an object that looked like someone wearing a jetpack and flying near the airport last night.
Hey, what's up,
everybody? The feds. But once again, the key question here, did the pilot really see what he thought he saw? NBC4's Ted Chen live near LAX with the story for us. Ted.
Carolyn, all the evidence so far points to no. A developer of these jetpacks says the current technology simply does not exist for someone to reach those kind of heights where an airplane would see them. But the audio you're about to hear does raise some interesting questions.
2363, possible jetpack man in sight.
NBC4's I-Team has learned that it was a Boeing 747 cargo plane that reported the sighting yesterday around 6:12 p.m. in the area of Whittier and Santa Fe Springs.
And do you know what altitude?
Air traffic control began notifying other planes nearby.
Attention all aircraft, use caution for the jetpack. He is just north of the final, around 5,000 at gate, last reported.
All right, we're looking for the Iron Man, last 233.
Late last year, several pilots reported similar sightings of what appeared to be a person in a jetpack flying near LAX. The FBI said at the time that was unlikely. David Mayman is the CEO of Jetpack Aviation, which is developing jetpacks and other flying vehicles. He says current technology would not allow a person in a jetpack to get that high.
So for a jetpack to take off from a suburban area, which you have to be flying where it is, and to climb to 3,000 or 5,000 feet, and then to hover around long enough to be sighted by an airliner, and then to come back down and land, there's no technology in existence today where the jetpack could fly that long.
The FAA issued this statement saying, quote, no unusual objects appeared on radar around LAX on Wednesday evening. The FAA has worked closely with the FBI to investigate every possible jetpack sighting report. We have not been able to validate any of the reports. Mayman adds, though, that his company is only about 2 to 3 years away from launching a motorcycle-type jetpack that could last up to an hour, carry 2 people, and reach up to 15,000 feet. Reporting live near LAX, Ted Chen, NBC4 News. Michael Carolyn, back to you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chad Calek here, and welcome back to the In a Crowded Room podcast, which before we get talking about the news story you just watched, in which a mysterious jetpacker known as Iron Man is flying over the skies of LAX, I want to let you know that the next episode is going to be a Q&A episode. But it's going to be a different kind of Q&A episode because I always get a lot of personal questions that I have a tendency to avoid. And it's not really because, they're bad questions or anything like that. I guess I just never know how personal to get. And I've thought about it a lot. And when it comes down to it, I'm not ashamed of anything in my life. And at the same time, I know people have a lot of curiosity about what life is like out here in California as well, how you survive as a filmmaker, how you get paid as a filmmaker. There's just a lot of questions that, again, I've always avoided, and I guess I really don't know why, because all of it's information to me that, I'm ultimately cool with sharing. So I guess I just want to let you guys know it's going to be a very personal Q&A in which I'm going to answer as many questions as I can in relation to my personal life. And I guess the other reason is I hate social media, how everybody in the world, I shouldn't say everybody in the world, right? But a lot of people have a tendency to kind of create this false image as to who they are, what their life is like. And I think the thing that people have enjoyed about me, or at least I've been told, is that I will speak openly about some subjects that are deemed, I guess, taboo. So we will get into it. I just want to let you guys know I'm actually excited for this Q&A episode, and I invite you to give it a listen. It will be out tomorrow. Also, if you hear some feet scraping against the ground, that is Bugsy. He is walking around right now. Laura is back home in Iowa, visiting her father, who unfortunately is sick, isn't doing well right now. But I'll let her decide how much she wants to say about that. But what that means is I'm at home with Bugsy, holding down the fort, and it's actually pretty cool with just me and Bugs. Laura actually takes care of a lot of the home duties with Bugsy as far as taking him outside. He's just slurping down water right now like a champ. So it's been nice to really spend a lot of time with him over the last couple days. Having said that, let's get into this bizarre, mysterious chain of events that have been going on over the skies of LAX. And I have a lot of thoughts about this. As you just saw, initially there was 3 sightings of what appeared to be, from the cockpit of the plane, what appeared to be a guy flying around in a jetpack, in which he was sighted between 3,000 and 5,000 feet. Well, the reason this is mysterious, as you also just saw, is because jetpacks don't really allow that height of travel. I did a lot of research on this, and the main issue is, these jetpacks that people are wearing, whether they are the arm jetpacks that the military is designing, or whether they are the back units that you kind of hold on to the front, which it appears that that's what this is. These are still, jet turbine engines that have, fuel running through them. So you can't, pack that much fuel in them. The average flight time on these things, I was shocked, is like less than 7 minutes. So they're really designed to just quickly go from point A to point B. Some of them can get, from what I read, some of them can get up to maybe 10 minutes of flight time. But they're just, again, you certainly couldn't fly to, or from Los Angeles to Vegas or something, right? Or you couldn't fly from here to Seattle. And there's issues with these turbines because they're small, I guess, at elevation too. They have a much harder time working or operating at 3,000 to 5,000 feet. But what the creator of these jetpacks, as he just said, What I found instantly to be very interesting is if it's consistently seen, the Iron Man is consistently seen flying over LAX, the area surrounding LAX is like Inglewood and Westchester, which these are heavily populated areas. So how is there not hundreds of videos of this guy taking off or landing in a residential area? There should be, and there's not. The footage that exists, which you saw in the news article, that footage was actually recorded again by a commercial airlines pilot. Which leads to, the very difficult question to answer, which is, what is this? What is going on? What is it? A human being that's flying around in a jetpack? And if so, he's choosing a very dangerous area to do it. If I was going to fly something around at any altitude, I definitely wouldn't go do it over one of the busiest airports in the world. And talk about a death wish. These 747s, A380s. They're coming in at ridiculous speeds. And it would be very easy to either, get hit by a plane or to cause an accident. So I guess my question is this a drone? Because that could be one potential, that a drone is basically outfitted with some kind of fake body apparatus. And if it's not, and it's a human being, where did this technology come from? How is somebody flying around at 5,000 feet when even the creator of the technology says this is impossible? Really weird. Really, really weird. So while I was researching this, I also came across another story of something that just happened in Arizona. I believe it was Tucson. Yes, that's correct. It was Tucson, Arizona, where another mysterious drone, not a jetpack per se, but a drone showed up over Tucson, and it was chased by police at over 100 miles an hour, in which they described it just taking off at ridiculous speed and just flying over a mountain range, just leaving them in the dust and flying over a mountain range, which, again, everybody came out and said, this is not a commercial drone, way too powerful, way too much distance, way too much control, maneuverability, and the FBI is now investigating it as well.
Welcome back. Only on 12 News at 6. Police chasing a drone across the city at more than 100 miles an hour. And now the FBI is looking for the pilot. Tonight, the police report from February incident shows that the pilots could not believe what they were chasing. Team 12's William Pitts brings us the story that you won't see anywhere else.
According to the police report, this was far beyond a commercially available drone like this one, and nobody has any idea who was flying it or why.
A high-speed chase thousands of feet above Tucson was something even the cops couldn't catch. The first time anyone saw it, it almost crashed into a Customs and Border Protection helicopter at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Tucson PD put up their helicopter to find it. According to the police report, the Tucson PD pilot called it a very sophisticated and specialized drone. It had a green light on its belly, but they could never see it, not even with infrared goggles. They chased it all over the city. Here's the flight path of the helicopter. They circled at least 14 times, going 100 miles an hour, and the drone kept evading them, even circling the chopper at that speed. Finally, one of the pilots said the thing went over the top of Mount Lemmon, more than 14,000 feet up. That's when the helicopter started running out of gas, but the drone was still going more than an hour later.
To understand how bizarre this is, you need a little basic drone knowledge. Now, this is one of the drones we use here at 12 News. We're only allowed to go 400 feet up in the air, and really on its best day, it's only going to go about 5 miles away from the control station. And no commercially available drone will be able to go more than a half hour without a battery change. Whatever Tucson PD saw blew past all of those limits.
What you'd be looking at would be a hybrid system. So it'd be something like maybe a propane-powered electrical generator.
Vic Moss is a drone expert with the Drone Service Providers Alliance. We sent him the police report to check it out.
This is not a normal drone.
Vic says what this drone did is possible, just very hard and very expensive. Like Department of Defense expensive.
I would say it's almost a drone that got away from somebody, but there's all kinds of weirdness in that report.
The pilots said in their report that they couldn't really see what they were chasing, but with 2 pilots plus the air traffic controllers, leads Vic to believe the helicopter pilots did not make a mistake.
So the credibility of the witnesses, the fact that there was more than one, they probably didn't get it wrong in the fact that something was there and it was probably a drone.
So what was it? No one really knows. And the FBI and the FAA definitely want to know what this was, because if it had hit a helicopter or even a plane, it could have done some major damage. So far, the only thing the FBI is saying is that they're looking for tips. William Pitts, 12 News.
So I guess the big picture question is, what the hell is going on? Like, now, all of a sudden, we just have this UFO rollout, and then there's these these 2 stories are just 2, I'm sure, of many, of what can only be called a UFO, an unidentified flying object, over major cities. My initial thought was, wow, is this part of this narrative that's going on right now? Is that what's going on? Or are these kind of these drones or whatever, the Iron Man over LAX, are these kind of, black market creations, right? Meaning, look, it's becoming easier and easier for people to create these types of things on their own. As long as there's been technological advances that are in the mainstream, there are always the quote, hacker generation, right? The idea that someone could also be creating the same thing, but with adjustments and be kind of like weapons, right? Like if there's a weapon that you can buy at Walmart, usually you can rest assured that somebody has found a way to either create that weapon or modify that weapon to do more, right? The same thing has happened with computers. You can buy computers, through a mainstream location like Best Buy, but there's going to be, somebody that's building their own computer that's going to be far superior. This happens in science as well. This happens in gene editing. Like there are, maybe black market. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied right now. Maybe black market is the wrong term. But what I mean is basically independent. There are independent scientists, young kids, that are messing around with editing their own DNA to make them stronger, to make make them healthier, to change their hair color. Like these things are actually going on. So I guess the question that I'm begging is that what we're looking at? Are we looking at technology that is created in somebody's garage that's copying mainstream versions of drones? Because, look, drones are everywhere now, right? There's military drones, there's police drones, there's filming drones that you could use. I just spent a weekend in Iowa where part of our kind of filming arsenal was an incredible drone that could really pull off some things that used to cost millions of dollars to do for the price of a $600 drone. So is that what we're looking at here? Are we looking at creations? Are we looking at drones that people have made? Or are we looking at the military testing objects? Are we looking at, basically the question that we begged about Craig, in the Cernoface case, when the military invited him onto the island to document their paranormal investigation? Was Craig documenting something, or was the government documenting Craig, right? Maybe the same type of thing is going on here. Maybe this is new technology. Maybe we have cracked the code on jetpacks that can fly for long distances. Maybe they're now electric rather than fuel propelled. and maybe we're just seeing these things in practical real world use, and people want to know how people respond to them, which is always important whenever you have a new piece of technology that can affect the purpose that you use it for, whether it was war or surveillance or anything like that. But what I find really interesting is the simple fact that these stories exist. There was a time where this type of thing would be shot down by, an editor really quickly, and that's how it works at these news stations. Basically, reporters will come in and they will have a story idea, and they will, pitch it to either their editor-in-chief, or they'll pitch it to their section's editor, like if you're a sports or lifestyle, something like that, and they will give them the green light or the red light. The fact that these news stations are so open to talking about these stories, it's a byproduct of this whole UFO narrative playing out. It really is. And what's really concerning to me, I say concerning not like I'm scared, but concerning in the sense that they're so wide open to reporting these stories, it leaves it wide open to hoaxing, because people know now that they can get the attention of the media by staging, a fake UFO hoax. Which Vice just did a documentary on these guys that, pretty much love tricking people, and they stage UFO hoaxes, which is, I think, pretty ridiculous and a waste of time. But now the fact that the media will give these stories their due, I think we need to be prepared at the same time, while we're seeing more and more truthful information that's coming out about the UFO narrative and potential extraterrestrial technology. That's such a hard word to say, extraterrestrial technology. I think we need to also be prepared for the fact that we're going to see a massive amount of hoaxing going on. Now, I'm not saying that either of these events, the Tucson drone or the LAX Iron Man, I'm not saying that those are hoaxes. They may not be. They're both really mysterious stories. I'm just saying that we're going to see more and more hoaxing going on as the media now gives these stories their time and attention, which we've never seen in the past. Having said that, what do you think we should do? Because that's the next question too. So this LAX Iron Man jetpacker, this is the fourth time now that he's appeared between 3,000 to 5,000 feet using technology that that the creators of these jetpacks say does not exist yet. No one sees him take off. No one sees him land. No one's tracking him. So what do we do? Is this dangerous? Is it not? I mean, it's dangerous in the sense that, it's flying around in airspace in which planes are landing. But what do we do? I mean, is this something that the military has to step in and try to figure out what it is? I would argue yes. I mean, because these planes are filled with hundreds of people that are landing over LAX, I mean, the biggest issue is, like I said, it could just be, an accident, a crash of some kind. And if nobody's seeing the Iron Man take off or land, if nobody knows the technology that it's using, by all terminology, isn't that a threat? A threat not of national security, but a threat to a high potential of an accident. I think that we should bring our military in to solve this. Someone's got to solve it. I mean, you just can't keep having a guy flying around in a jetpack over LAX. And I say that as somebody who just flew, out of LAX and landed in LAX. I would feel a lot better knowing that there was no jetpacker just flying through, the approach sites, of runways. Someone's got to figure it out. And the one in Tucson, it sounds like it's military technology, like somebody got their hands on some kind of military drone and was buzzing it around and just basically seeing what it could do. Remember, in both cases, beyond these objects existing, neither one of them acted in a threatening capacity. Both of them very much appeared to be almost like I said, like a test. But if this keeps happening, that's going to be interesting. If these are developing stories, and in a month from now we start hearing different stories about unknown drone technology, or more jetpackers or Ironmen, as they're being called by commercial pilots. If we start seeing more of these things flying over other major cities, that is going to be really, really interesting. Because, as I've said before, I do think something very big is coming. I've been waiting for the media to say that, and now we've seen, like I said, in J.J. Abrams' new Showtime series, he's saying it. But you have to wonder, are these stories a part of this rollout narrative? Are these stories a part of this thing that's coming? Are we suddenly going to start seeing all kinds of technology that we don't know whose it is, we don't know who's running it? Is this going to become a common thing over cities? I don't know. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And I'm also very excited for this J.J. Abrams Showtime series, which starts in a couple days. So I want to know what you guys think about that after it comes out as well. But also, what do you guys think? What is this over LAX that people are seeing? Is this a person? Is it, a drone with something attached to it? How do you think that it's taking off and landing without anybody seeing it? That's the most perplexing thing to me. We live in a world where everybody has an HD camera on their phone. So how is this thing, taking off and landing anywhere near LAX without a ton of people filming it? I mean, this isn't normal. Like, if I'm driving down the 405 or the 10 in LA and I see a dude flying, his body just flying, yeah, I'd be filming that for sure. So I'm interested to know what you guys think it is. And the same thing in Tucson. What do you think that was? I mean, the police were chasing it at over 100 miles per hour until it finally decided to just dust them and fly over, the mountainside. So I don't know. It's a big-time mystery. It's very frustrating, but I am really interested to see how this plays out. And I hope the military comes in and figures it out, because it's, it is a bit scary. It is. Just because, like I said, I fly out of there, and I do not need to look out my window and see, quote, the Iron Man in my flight path. That would not be cool. So, having said that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the In a Crowded Room podcast. Again, I'll be back tomorrow with a very personal Q&A episode, which I invite you all to listen to. Until then, much love to all of you. I will be back tomorrow with more. All the best.